Hi, welcome to this course on Python, and in this video we shall be talking about our next data structure, and that's going to be dictionary. Well, in the previous videos we talked about lists, tuples and sets. We talked about each one of them using examples. We understood the different methods, how to access elements, and how each one of them are different from each other. In this video we shall be focusing more on dictionaries. Well, before getting into Python dictionary, let's try to understand what is the general definition of a dictionary. I hope everybody have already gone through various dictionaries. Dictionaries has word and their respective meaning. Simple. So, word is nothing but unique in nature. Similarly, in Python, when you want to store something like a key value pair, for an example, you want to store all the customer ID, their salary. So customer IDs are unique in nature and they have their respective salary. So anything which is in the form of key value pair, dictionaries are mostly used in that case to store attributes. So dictionaries are nothing but unordered collection of data. Data in dictionary is stored as a key value pair. Key should not be mutable. That means you cannot change the keys. Keys are always unique in nature. And values can be of any type. It could be a string, it could be an integer, it could be a float, it could be anything. As example is dict equals to name John, age 10. So the name is John and age is 10. Well, dictionary and sets, they both are initiated using curly brackets. The only difference is that in dictionary you have key value pair. If you just define one attribute, like you define name comma John comma age comma 10, that becomes a set, right? Keys are name and age here and values are John and 10. I will try to do the same thing here. Let's say dict equals to name John, age 30. Simple. Now if I do type of dict, the name is dict, but it's a dictionary. But if I do like this, let's say variable, instead of semicolon I'm passing it as entities, and then if I do type of var, it gives me set, right? So dictionary is in the format of key value pairs and sets are having unique entities. Dictionary stores elements as key and value pairs. Key is like an index and it's always unique and immutable in nature. Okay, the values are the objects that contain information. So values are mutable, they can change. Keys are immutable. Values are accessed using their keys. Each key is followed by a value separated by a colon. The values can be immutable, mutable, and duplicates. Each key and value pair is separated by a comma enclosed inside curly brackets. So let's quickly start our practical applications, practical understanding on dictionaries. Here I'm creating a new dictionary. My dictionary's name is D1 and I have various countries as my key values, as my keys, and their respective currencies as my value. So we have India, INR, USA, USD, Hong Kong, HKD. So we have three attributes. Now let's say I run this, my dictionary is created. If I want to check what is the type of this one, the type is dictionary. What will be the length of this one? The length will be 3 because one key value pair, one key value pair, and one key value pair, 3 key value pairs. If you want to print access value using keys, let's say you want to access what is the value for India. So you have to pass dictionary of key. In that case, you will get the value. Replacing the value for a key in a dictionary. Let's say you want to update INR to something else, or else USD to something else or HKD to something else. Let's say you want to update HKD to something else. So instead of HKD, you want to make it as HK dollars like this. And then if you run this, you can see that my new dictionary is India INR, USA USD, and Hong Kong HK dollars. Simple. So your values can change, your keys cannot change. Let's say you want to create a new entity to your to your dictionary. So let's say I am creating a entity called as Japan, and I have my value which is yen. So I'm simply doing d1 of Japan equals to yen. Now if I run my d1, I have four entities. Now if you run the length of your d1, it will give you 4. Okay. Inserting a new key value pair, you have to do like this. Okay. Simple. Selecting customer ID. Now just look at this one. Here your d1 already has Japan. If you again do like this, it will just append the values, like it will update the values. What it will do is, first, whenever you assign dictionary of key equals to something, first it checks whether that key is available or not. If that key is available, the value will be updated. If not, then that key will be recreated. Not recreated, it will be created. Okay. So okay, so this is some SQL queries which I have mentioned just to explain how this feature works. If you, you know, let me just delete it. Let's not confuse people. So we have our dictionary: India, USA, Hong Kong, and Japan. Now, just imagine, we want to delete a key value pair. So you can easily use the delete command, del, and then dictionary in brackets your key name. If you do, then you can see I'm running this and then I'm printing D1. Now my D1 is India INR, USA USD, Hong Kong HKD. So my Japan is gone. Okay. How to sort a dictionary? You can use sorted of D1. If you run this, you can see the values are sorted. Now, if you want to access India, you can do D1 of India, or else D1 of United. Oh, sorry, it was USA, right? D1 of US equals to, sorry. So here it is assigning it. So there is not much of changes. Let's say you want to access some elements. You want to access what is the value of USA. If you do this, oh, value of US is updated because I had updated it. My bad. Okay. What is value of USA? It is USD. What is the value of India? It is INR. What is the value of Hong Kong? It is HK dollars. Now, I don't have any country named Germany, right? Now, if I do Germany, what it will be? It will throw me an error because Germany does not exist. Okay. Next one, we will be studying about the values method. So there is a method called as values inside your dictionary. Dot values. What does value return? You can see if I run this, the values is returning me a dictionary values of INR, USD, and HK dollars. What are keys? Dot keys will return me the dictionary keys India, USA, and Hong Kong. There is a method called as get method. D1 dot get of key. If you pass, it will give you the value. So this is pretty similar to this. Let's say you want to just do D1 of India like this. Same. D1 dot get, or you can also do like this. There is another method called as update, like dictionary dot update, and then you pass your key and then you pass something, and then this one, both are same. So let's say I will just remove this and I run this. You can see my India is updated with RS, right? So this is very similar to this. Now let's say I'm reassigning it to INR, and you can print your dictionary and your key value pairs are updated. So if you want to do update method, you can use it. If you want to do directly like this, you can use it as well. Now this is where we wind up our dictionary, but we will be talking about some practice codes, some practice questions for our better understanding of dictionaries, right? So let's move on to the first question. The description says, write a code to fetch the profession of the employee with employee ID 104 from an employee input given in the form of a dictionary where key represents employee ID. So your key represents employee ID. Let me just, okay. Key is employee ID, emp ID, and value represents name, age, and profession. Name, age, and profession. Okay. That means looking at this sentence, this basically means my key is a normal employee ID and my value is a list. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Your values could be anything. Sample input is this. So let me just take a sample input. So here I have taken the sample input. Employee data equals to this. Shiva something something. 102 Udit something something. 103 Sonam something something. And so on. We have 5 entries. What is the type of employee data? This. What is employee data? This. Right. If you want to access what are the details of 101, you can simply pass this. It will give you all the values. Right. Now let's move on to the next question. Write a code, not next question. Write a code to fetch the profession. So if you are passing employee ID, it should return you the profession, which is name, age, profession, which is the third attribute. How can we do that? The type of employee data dot get is list. Okay. See, this is a list. Now if I do something like this, simple, as we have already learned list, we already learned dictionary, this should not be very difficult for you. How can we get that? See, employee data, when you're passing the key value, you are getting a list, right? If you want to check what is it, just type in type of this, it you can see that it's a list. Simple. And how to access a list? Zeroth element, first element, second element. So I'm doing second element. You can do this, or else you can also do -1. Okay, both are same. So this is the solution. Similarly, if you want to do it for 104, do it for 104, product lead. Simple. So this is the final output. Let's move on to the next question. The question number 2 is, suppose there is a dictionary, Python. There is a dictionary like this. Let me just write it down. I already have the solutions on the screen, but I don't want to show you the solutions. So there is a dictionary like this. What commands would be used to delete the entry R? This is one of the easiest questions, right? We have Python, and then we have, okay, there is a mistake here. It's basically like this. We have Python whose value is 40. We have R whose value is 45. How to delete? Simply we can do delete dict1 of 45 of R, sorry, right? Sorry, my dict1 is not defined. Dict1 of, now if I do dict1, you can see I only have Python, right? So this is very simple. I have done the same thing here. Moving on to the third question. I have a dictionary like this. What will this return? This will return all the keys, right? Dictionary.keys will return all the keys. So Python and R. If you do dot values, it will return all the values 40 and 45. Simple. Now, moving on to the next question. From a dictionary input, dict equals to name Monty, profession singer. Get the value of a key based on user input, which is not a part of the dictionary, in such a way that Python doesn't hit an error. That means if the key does not exist in the dictionary, Python should return NA. Okay. So what it asks is, what it asks is you have a dictionary, and let's say I'm asking what will be the output for a key XYZ. If key XYZ exists, you will get that value. If not, normally it will fail, right? Like this. Like this. Let's say I want to find what is the value of name, profession, age. Age does not exist, but what it is telling that if age does not exist, this should not throw an error. This should return you NA. How can we do that? I have defined my dictionary. I have defined a label which is NA. Now, input dictionary of label equals to NA, right? This is one way. This is the hard coded way, not recommended, but another way. I have defined a dictionary. These are my keys, name and profession. Here, what I'm doing is if label in dict, print input dict label, else print NA. Okay, so what I'm doing is if you want a particular column, if that column is present in input dict dot keys, then print its value, else print NA. So my final output is NA. Now, moving on to the last question, last but not the least, list of values in a dictionary. Create a sorted list of all values from the dictionary. Input dict equals to this. So sample input is this, sample output is this. That means you want to sort based on your values. How can we do that? So what I have done here is I have defined my dictionary. I'm just simply calling the sorted method and I'm passing the dot values function. So sorted of dictionary dot values will give me the sorted values. That is one approach. Another approach here is I'm creating the dictionary. I'm storing all the values in a list and then I'm sorting the list. So either ways, I'm using the sorted keyword. So anything is fine. You can do any of them. If you know any other options, please let us know as well. So that's all about dictionary, and I hope you understood a little bit about dictionaries. This is where we wind up our data structures program, and in next classes, we shall be talking about some other topics related to file handling, error handling, and many more topics. So stay tuned.